where we come to seek for help.
Our lives must be influential.
Talk about God everywhere you go. So if we do church, man, let's do church. Let our church be filled with the Spirit of God. Jesus walks on water. That is the title of the sermon. Now, I've been preaching for many years. When I started before, I would do those big titles. You know, those big brand titles. The ones that confuse yourself. You confuse yourself in the title because you're trying to come up with this huge title. And the whole sermon, you're trying to bend it to meet that title. Something like, if you must be what you are and don't be what you are not. For if you are what you are not, you are what you are not. If you are not what you see, I'm already confused. If you are not what you are, but then it was a good thing to have a big title, and people will come. As I grow older, I decided to let the Bible name the titles itself. Now the title for this one is Jesus Walks on Water. That's what is written there, and that's what we were preaching about. Jesus walks on water. This is a story that is familiarly known as Peter walks on water. If you've heard this story before, we have elevated too much Peter walking on water. But for some reason, the Bible does not say the story is Peter walks on water, because that's a minor in the story. That is, as she likes to say, you're majoring on minors. That's a law. I don't know if that's a law term or what. You are majoring on minors when you make the title, the whole sermon about Peter. It is not about Peter. It is about Jesus. The very fact that Peter walked on water was because Jesus did it. So all Peter was doing was to imitate what his master has done. And the good thing with God is that if he can do it, he can allow you to do it also. That's the good thing about God. He will allow you to do it. So the main focus is on Jesus. Jesus walks on water. Oh, I can do this also. Not Peter walks on water. Jesus walks on water. Now let me show you why I say this. Now the same story. Let's read it again. You read it, né? Let's read it again for a second time. Now listen carefully to how Mark narrates the story. From verse 45. You are there. There it is on the screen. 45 down to 52. Same story. Listen. Immediately Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him, while he dismissed the crowd. After leaving them, he went up to the mountainside to pray. It's the same as what Matthew said, right? When evening came, the boat was in the middle of the lake and he was on land. He saw the disciples. Can mark that because we didn't see that on Matthew. Saw the disciples straining at the oars because the wind was against them. About the fourth watch of the night, he went out to them, walking on the lake. He was about to pass by them. Mark that in your Bible because you didn't see that in Matthew. Was about to pass by. But when they saw him walking on the lake, they thought he was a ghost and cried out because they all saw him and were terrified. Immediately, he spoke to them and said, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." And he climbed onto the boat with them and the wind died. They were completely amazed, for they had not understood about the loaves. Their hearts were hardened, and the story ends there. The Lord has a blessing for the reading of his word. Amen. Did you hear nothing about Peter there? Okay, let's go further. Let's read for the last time now. This is the same story just for the last time. Go to John. Go to John. I see the preachers are ahead of me. We got preachers in the house and I acknowledge them. When preachers in the house, they are already. I said let's read again, they're already in John. It's my turn, my friend. I know we hit the devil, all of us. It's my turn today to hit him. So walk with me now. Walk with me. Don't go ahead of me now. 6 verse 16. Same story. Listen, same story. 6 verse from 16. You got it up there? Yes. When evening came, his disciples went down to the lake. When they got into the boat and set off across the lake for Capernaum. Now we hear something as we mark that. Capernaum. By now it was dark and Jesus had not joined them. Strong wind was blowing and the waters grew rough. When they had rowed about 5 or 6 kilometers, you can mark that as well, they saw Jesus approaching the boat walking on water, and they were terrified. And he said to them, "It is I, don't be afraid." Then they were willing to take him into the boat, and immediately the boat reached the shore. The Lord has a blessing to the name of his word. Amen. Now it's interesting. This is what people look at and they read the Bible and say, "No, this Bible is full of controversy. This Bible is controversial." Look, I'm not going to argue with you about the Bible being controversial, because if you're going to start saying the Bible is controversial, you can think of how you win by dying. Jesus won by death. He died and he won. So if you want to come and talk about controversial, there's so many things we won't have to talk about. We're going to have to move your faith from that which you think. This is same as saying when you are weak, you are strong. That's the Bible. That's the Bible. So let's take this controversial out and put it aside and actually say there is something that God wants to show me in these different views that have been brought up, and find the beauty instead of attacking the Bible from the vastness of your ignorance. This is what is called the harmony of the Gospels. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John all record the same thing harmoniously. But you may find different things when you read them. So I'm challenging you to, when you read them, to find that which God wants to show you from the eyes of Mark, from the eyes of John, from the eyes of Matthew. For God is everything and everyone to all of us, differently and the same. Now, what do I mean by that? God, we can take a verse now and walk out and read it and come back. We will all come with different things, because God, that's why I say the Bible, the word lives. God will show you from the same text that he is a marriage counselor. But he will show me from the same text that he is a builder. He will show somebody else from the same text that he is a doctor. That is why the Bible says, do not judge. For if God has not appeared to you the same way as he appeared to that brother, you cannot judge them. For if your faith is still at a certain level to others, maybe higher than us, don't judge us. For God still is working with us. We are a work in progress, all of us. That is why we will always interpret God differently. But what we then do as people, these things that we find, we take one text, build a church on it, and build doctrine on it, and say this is the right church. Whereas that was only a stepping stone. That was to move you from that point to the next. So let's take a few lessons now from John. Okay, we were on John. Okay, so we'll start from John, come back to Mark, and then end on Matthew. John says something the other guys don't say. He mentions Capernaum. He mentions the destination by name. John says, Jesus said to them, go to the other side. Okay, if you read it in Mark, you'll find Bethsaida there as well. Bethsaida, Capernaum. Look, Bethsaida and Capernaum is like Gauteng and Joburg. Okay, the one said you are going to Joburg, the one said they are going to Gauteng. So that's not controversy. So let's leave that. It's a minor. But the main thing is there is a destination. There is a purpose for the destination. He brings the destination to us. He makes us see that these people, Jesus didn't just say go. He said go to a certain place. So what are we to learn from this? It is that you must always have a destination. Now I'd like to talk much to the youth about destinations. You know, the vintage oldies, they may say, look, I have arrived, that's fine. So we'll talk about their arrival at another day. Today I'd like to focus on the youth, because I know the youth, for example, the youth would come here, they don't know where they are going after this church, after the service. A person doesn't know where they are going. exactly after this service, they have no destination. And as a result, they may be swayed by any force that comes because you have no destination. I mean, if your friends, if you were here and you decided, okay, I'll see where I'm going, and then your friends come and say, let's go that way, you go that way. The others say, no, let's go that way, you go that way. You have to always have a destination and make sure that your destination is God-inspired. For if it is God-inspired, storms will come. This is a fact. All three of these guys have shown us the storm did come. But if the storm comes and finds you on a place to go to, on a route to go to, you will not lose your focus. The storms will come. But if I know that I'm determined to go there, the storm may move me a few inches to the side, but I will sway back on the course, for I know where I'm supposed to go. Have a destination in your mind. I'm not talking small things like coming out of church. I'm talking careers. I'm talking marriages. You know, some of us will make marriage our destination. This is why when the spouse is gone, you say, my life ends right now. It ends, it's ended. For you, the spouse, you were working towards a destination, and marriage was a destination. No. When your spouse meets you, they must meet you going somewhere. Yeah. The two of you must join forces on your route to where God had pointed you to go. Yes. So that either of you can finish off that purpose, whether one is gone or not. There is a destination. Now, let's move on. You cannot have a destination if you do not have a purpose. Where are you going? Why are you going there if you got no purpose? Now, you see, I come from Transkei. Okay, let me be politically correct now. What is it? Eastern Cape now. We call it Transkei. That's where I come from. Now, Transkei, when I came here to Joburg, I found something that's not done here. That's only done in Transkei. And that is hitchhiking. Hitchhiking. In Transkei, we hitchhike. We move from one destination to another using our thumbs. And we will make it without any money. With the thumbs. We do short distances, like from the location to another location, or longish from location to town. We also do long distances, like from Transkei to Joburg. We've done it. How do we do it? We put a board. We take a small board. We write the XA. That is Umtata registration. If I have a board I put on the road and I say XA, that means I'm going to Umtata. And I stand on the road. I put my board like this. It's got my destination. Trust me, if you're not going that direction, you're just going to pass me by. But if you're going to Umtata, you stop, for I have a destination clearly visible. Yes. I am not going to be taken by a guy who is going to Port Elizabeth, for I have stated my course. I have stated my destination. I have stated where I want to go. People, I am saying to us, let our destinations be known. Yeah. People must know that you are a child of God. Let them not say, oh, you go to church? I didn't even know you go to church. Let them know it. You will be free from many things. Yes. Trust me, most temptations come because people don't know whether you are going or coming. For you have not made your stand. Make your stand known. Make your destination known. Put your XA there. When we come to Joburg, we put JHB. And I will move from Transkei all the way to Durban, to Joburg, using that board. Now when I came here, 2001, I've never seen anyone having a board here hiking that way. We hike from south up here. Such that one time I stopped for a lady at night. Now when I came here, I came because I love the buildings. I love to drive around and look at the buildings in Joburg. They were nice. I don't come from Transkei, okay? So I love the buildings. I would drive around, look at the buildings. And so one day I'm driving around Senton, Oxford Street, going that way. And there's a lady that was hitchhiking wearing a coat, nice coat. She's like, oh, I'm like, Transkei might come through. And I'm thinking, shame, she hasn't got an X-ray or anything. But it's okay. So I stop. Oxford Street, you know what I'm talking about. I stop, I come. And I open my window. Sissy, where are you going? She says, I'm going where you are going. are you going? I'm going where you are going. Okay, Bertrand said, I'm working, and I drove up there. Then I said, okay, now I'm in a different territory altogether. Mark your destination. Yes. Let it be known. But more than that, find a purpose. Yes. Find God's purpose for your life. Now, we always complain about this purpose. We always complain that I don't have a job. You always complain that God is not giving you this thing that you want. We always complain that God is not giving me money, He's not giving me a car. All these complaints. I'm not saying now I have all answers to everything. But I have this that can help us. Jeremiah, God says to this guy, before I made you, or I formed you, I knew you. Before you were in your mother's womb, I appointed you. Before you were even alive, living out as a human being, I gave you a job. So how can you sit here, all adult people, and say God has not given you a job when infants, no, that was not even an infant, that was a fetus, when fetuses have jobs. Are you with me, church? Yes. This fetus had a job, an appointment, with the description, the job, what is the job description? Everything God says, you fetus, you have a job. You have a purpose. Here it is. And God marked it down and put it all together. It is there. You have a job. Yeah. You have it. Yeah. You have a purpose. Yeah. The problem is what God has purposed for you and what you are trying to find for yourself. That is the only balance we need to strike. What is it, God, that you purposed for me on this earth? And then you will find the job. Trust me, friends, when the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added. That's what it's talking about. Seek God. Yours is to seek God. Find God, the maker. I mean, when they make a Mercedes, they say, this is the purpose of this car. It is different to a Ferrari. A Ferrari has got a different purpose altogether. So you cannot make a Mercedes do the Ferrari's job. And that's what we are doing. You are working in wrong departments. You are working in, you have some, this is not all. Some have found God has enlightened His purpose on them. But some of us are not happy where we are, and we know it. And some of us got to where we are by lying and cheating. And we want to stay there and say God must make it right. Where we are, where we know that we put on wrong results. You know, we mischievously changed the matric certificate. I told you I'm coming from Transkei. You know these things. I love that country. You submit it. They employ you based on lies and deceit. Things are now hot there. And you're complaining God doesn't love me. And you know how you got there. It was not God inspired. It was not God's purpose for you to be there in the first place. Now, how do you make it right? That's the good thing with God, is that if you have messed up, He will not leave you alone to sort your own mess out. No, He will still be there. When things are tough, when the storm hits you, He's still there to sort it out. But you have to surrender it to Him. Purpose, destination. Have it. Mark it there. Put it on your forehead. Let your friends know that this you do, this you don't do. This you walk, this is your value. This your value. This you do not value. Trust me, some of them will leave you alone. Some of them will leave you alone. At least if you have a ring on your finger, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, if you have it, at least, I know women are terrible, but at least some of them will leave you alone. At least some will. I'm talking to guys. Those guys, I know. Those guys. Now, you don't have to have a ring on your finger to show that you are married. But I mean, you can be like me, my wife. Every sentence, hey, my wife bought me an apple. At least you're like, yes, this guy. We can use the tactics. We can use them. We always want to know, I'll pray. I understand we must pray. But the same God who said pray, said if your hand leads you to sin, cut it off. That is a tactic. When the disciples were fishing, Jesus came to them and said, throw it onto the right-hand side of the boat. That's a tactic. Just change the sides. Move from this side to this side. Don't be so stereotyped and straightforward and say, I am only waiting up there. There are tactics you can use for your own salvation. Yeah. Not working for it, but that which God has inspired in you, use it, and you will make it. For the journey can be long. That's why John mentions 5 to 6 kilometers. The only one who mentions the distance. The only one who mentions the distance is they had rowed for 5 to 6 kilometers. Now, if you stood on shore, what you see, what do they call that thing? Horizon. That horizon, that's about 2 km to get to there when you are standing on shore. 2 kilometers. And these guys had rowed 5 to 6, so they were not visible to the human eye if you were standing on shore. And he mentions this for our own good. That the distance, now listen to this one now, you have done. Let's say you've done what we've preached here today, and you've asked God to show you where you must go, okay? You are living on the purpose of God. You are going somewhere because God has sent you there, okay? Your destination, you know it, God has told you, and you are living in it. But the reality of it is that it may be long before you get to your destination. This is the reality. We always say, once I've heard it from God, then everything is going to be smooth sailing. The reality is that it may be long. The route to get to where you ought to be may be long. Let me show you in the Old Testament. David is written in the book of Samuel, this story. They said, David, you are king today. And then after he was king, what happened? Went back to the fields to look after the sheep. For 16 chapters in the Bible before he became king. He was going out there fighting with bears and doing all sorts of things and lions and things. After he was told that you have now been an appointed king, the journey to his kingdom was long. But he stayed on course. Yes. For the destination was clear. Stayed on course. You won't miss. You will not fall if the destination is clear. The destination was clear. He eventually became king. So I know you have careers, you have things, you have places you want to go to. The journey may be long, but you will get there as long as you stay focused. Now, where is the focus? The person who gave you the destination is God. And that is the person you need to keep your focus on all the time. For he's the one who said, go there. But now look at this. When you leave the appointment place, let's say you leave church, you've come to church, you have now accepted Christ, and you know you want to go to heaven, all these good things, and you leave this place. When you get out into your car, you're singing, hallelujah, hallelujah. It's still fresh. Everything is still fresh. And you walk. The week starts Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Hey, Thursday, start losing the grip now. Because the journey is long. That's a minor example. I mean, in the Bible it is written that there are people who are complaining. They're saying, our forefathers were told that Jesus is coming soon. In the Bible, this is written in the Bible, that our forefathers were told that Jesus is coming soon. They're still not here. So how much more to us? We are still waiting for the same Jesus, the same road. It may be long. I don't want you to miss that. It may be long. But the good news is that if the purpose is clear, if the grip is good enough, you won't let go. Now, this is good enough. You now take your child and grab her. You want to walk the street, cross the street, and you tighten that grip because you don't want to lose. You tighten it so hard, just crossing the street. By the time you get there, you will have, he or she will either have let go, or both of you will be hurting. Because the grip was there, but the grip was too tight. You cannot walk a long distance with a tight grip. What's a tight grip? This thing of being heavenly centered and earthly useless. We said it in the morning. The Bible says, how can you love God whom you have not seen? And yet you cannot love your neighbor who you see every day. You are earthly useless, but yes, you are heavenly centered. Or you want to get to heaven, but your grip with heaven is so tight that we cannot get even a piece of it. And I am saying to you, friends, listen to me carefully. This grip will lose hold one day. Now, what's a grip that will hold? What's a grip that will hold? Well, that will take a long time. It's just a good grip. Just a good grip.
Yes.
A friendly grip. You hold the master and you walk with him. You have enough energy to hold your brother too.
Amen. Oh yeah. Yes, Lord.
You have enough energy to bring your wife too. You have enough, and you're grabbing the master, and you have enough energy on this side to bring others to the same fold. Amen. My friends, you won't make it alone. You're not going to make it alone. That's why Jesus will ask you, where are they? You will never make it alone. I said the last time, some come to church not for themselves. You come here, but it's not for your own good. It's for others. It's for the good of others. You have to come here, get energy, walk out there and preach to others or spread the gospel about what it is you received here. And somebody will be saved out there because of your goodness. Now the devil's got a good way of working with distance. You know, he'll allow you. He'll smile when he knows you've received the word. He is okay. He doesn't mind. Go to church. It's fine. Receive the word. But I'll check you. I'll see you in 6 months' time. It's okay. You are now holy. You've been baptized and everything. It's okay. Do it. I'll come back in 6 months' time, and he goes and hits the others who are weak along the way. Starts clapping them. But he's going to come back for you in 6 months' time. And this is what happened. The distance. These guys had rode with such energy. But halfway down the line, 6 km along the road, when the storms hit, they lost focus. They lost focus. The Bible said they were so afraid. They were so scared. Now, how can they be so scared when they know the end result? If you know how the picture ends, how can you lose your grip along the way? How is that possible? Soccer people, today, maybe there's a match, I don't know, I'm not a soccer fan. Is that a cry? No. Oh, okay. I see you looking at me. Some people, after coming out of church, they ask their friends, hey, what's the score between Pirates and Chiefs? And they tell them the score is 2-1. Favor, Chiefs won. Okay. Pirates fans, take it easy now. Chiefs won. 2-1. They have had it. They know. Says, friend, did you record it for me? Says, yes. And goes and watches the match. And the guy is kicking everybody in the room when Chiefs is about to lose. And yet he knows that Chiefs will win at the end of the day. But he cannot sit still. The whole match, the guy is, oh, no. Oh, he knows that won't go. It won't go in. But it's close. The ball is so close. The attack was so distinct. But you know, they've already scored 1. They told you 2-1. They will never score again. They will not score. They may come as close as they can, but they will not score. Friends, the devil will come close. He will not score. He won't win. For you know that the master will win. God has end at Capernaum. I will meet you on the other side. He told us, come and go. I'll meet you on the other side. I will meet you on the other side. Now the waves come and they buffet. They think they're going to sink. And yet Jesus said, I'm going to meet you on the other side. Oh!
Amen. Hallelujah.
You forgot what the master told you. That is why you are crumbling. That is why then the Bible says you may be attacked, but you will not be destroyed. You will be crushed, but you will not be destroyed. You will be pushed down, but you won't be in despair, for you know the score. You know how this match ends. Jesus told you, I will meet you in Capernaum. That's where I will meet you. And the devil brings all that he wants to bring, but you know, I'll meet Jesus in Capernaum. This is not Capernaum. So as long as this is not Capernaum, this journey hasn't ended. It will not end here. I will not die tonight. Whatever happens. Now the same thing that happens when your problems come, God said, I will be with you. I will meet you on the other side. Mark, I have at least moved on. There's some progress there. Mark says he saw them. That's what Mark says. He saw them and was about, or when it came to them, and was about to pass them by. Now what's wrong with this picture? Think about it. Mark says Jesus, as he was praying, he saw them. Now, John has given us a distance, so Jesus did not see them with his physical eyes. He saw them in the spirit world. Sure. He saw them as he was praying. He saw that the disciples are in trouble. Yes. My guys who I have said I'll meet you on the other side, he saw that they are in trouble. I don't want to preach long about that, except to say that Jesus sees that you are in trouble. He sees it. He knows it. Sees it in the spirit eyes. Now let me tell you something about Transkei again. We have restrooms.
Oh yeah.
Bathrooms. The loos. The lavatory. The ablution block. Situated at the corner of the garden yard. And this is the house. And this facility is right there in the corner. Now at night, it is a challenge to go there. Father, mother, brother, sister, can you accompany me? These ones who, because they are lazy to go, they will say, I am standing by the door. I see you. Just go. But I'm not going to leave. I am going to tell you. I'm going to keep talking. So you are walking. And you say, uncle, and he says, I see you. And you keep walking. And as you are walking, he says what? I see you. You go into the restroom and you do the business. And he still says what? I see you. Now the only assurance you have is that he can see you. The uncle can see me. That's the only reason that will make me go to this room. Because he can see me. Now this, I'm not talking about Transkei. I'm talking about what the Word of God says. He sees you. Now you go, you do the business, you finish, and you come back only on the promise of, I see you. God says today, I see you. I see you. But he has involved you in his ministry that this can get better than this story I have told you. When God says, I see you, you can also see him. Yes. In the spirit. Yes. You can. You need to tap onto your spirit world. Yes. Yes. And see that God can see you. Yes. Then you will not panic the way you panic. You will not crumble the way you crumble. for you can also see him. That's why Matthew says, my sheep know my voice. Do you know God's voice? Do you know God's voice? You know it. You know it. You have heard it. You just ignore it. But that's it. That's the one. You know it. You don't need the Bible. You know God's voice inside of you. You can do it. You can finish that journey you started because God can see you. But now, the same guy, Mark, after saying Jesus saw them, he then says he walked out to them. So now we are thinking Jesus wants to rescue them, right? We say, yeah, no, he has help coming. But he makes an important point and he says he was about to pass them by. Oh. So then the guys are busy there. They are rowing, the wind is against them, they are scared. And Jesus is thinking, hey, all right, you know these guys, they can't see me. Okay, so I'm going to go down to their level. You understand what's happening? Yeah. That was not Jesus' plan, to go to them now and save them. Because he said, I'm going to meet you on the other side. Whatever trials go to meet, you can face them. Through Christ who gives you strength. You know that verse? Yes, you can face it. So I've given you, you can go. But now, because their faith is not where he thought they would be, they haven't graduated. So now he walks to go, just to pass by. Just to pass by. Joggers, people who run in the morning, know what I'm talking about. You know, especially now in winter, if you are running at 5, it's dark. But don't you get comfort when you are running and there's another jogger who's running and he passes you by? No, it doesn't help you. It doesn't save you against any criminals, but he just passes by. Because you now get comfort that there is other people here. It's okay, so I can run. You get comfort in knowing that somebody just did what? Just passed by. Same thing. Jesus was just about to show them that, you know what? I am present. I am there. Because now they couldn't see him in the spirit, so they failed that one. But Jesus goes down, takes it down to another level and says, okay, I will walk, I will just pass by. I'm just going to pass by. So you can see that I am with you. And what happens? The guys cry like small babies and they think that it is a ghost. Now we talk about faith. And we say, you know, this faith thing is a problem. And I always say faith is not a problem because we have faith in many things. These guys, have they seen a ghost before? Have they seen a ghost? So why they think it's a ghost? Why when they see Jesus, they think there is a ghost? Why is it that they cannot see him for what he is, but they can see him for what he is not, which is something they haven't seen anyway. So I'm saying they saw that he's a ghost by faith, because they've never seen a ghost. But this thing had been instilled in their minds that there are ghosts that walk on, or let me put it this way, that do impossible things. Listen to this one. There are ghosts that do things that are out of the natural. Now when they see Jesus do something that is impossible, they don't think that Jesus can do it. They are still limiting Jesus to appear to them the same way that he had appeared yesterday. You see, if you missed this one, you have missed it. They want to see Jesus reveal himself to them the same way that they'd seen him yesterday. Or they want Jesus to reveal himself to them in their own way. They have a way. Look at this. They want help, but they want a way. There is a way that they've prescribed that you must help me. You must help me this way and only this way. And when Jesus brings help, but not in the way or the manner that they had thought of in their minds, they think it's a ghost. Now, what's a ghost, by the way? The ghost is an enemy, right? It can't be godly. Whatever it is, I haven't seen it. Even in Transkei, I haven't seen it, okay? I don't come blame my Transkei here. I haven't seen it even there. But they say, look, let me bring it to you. Have you seen how you are trying to help somebody and they turn you to be the enemy? They turn this help that you are bringing and they call you the enemy. You who is trying to help them, They turn the whole situation around and they say, you are against me. For example, when a young child wants something and the mother doesn't give them, they think that the mother does not love them because he's not doing as they have prescribed. Let's take it to the bigger level. God will appear in your life in whichever manner he chooses. And in whichever manner he sees fit. But you ought to recognize this is God. How can you do that? Only by having a relationship with him. Now you see, my wife has a relationship with me. So then my wife can start it again. My wife has a relationship with me. And if I were to appear, maybe the house is burning. And now she's inside there and I need to rescue her. When I left the house, I was wearing this suit, maybe going wherever. But because the danger needs a different suit, when I get there, I see firemen, and I see that they are too slow for my own good. So I dress up like a fireman, and I put the helmet. I close my face. Are you with me? Yes. So my face is not recognizable. I put on the boots, ready for what? To save her. And I take the hammer or the hosepipe, and I go in to save her. How will she recognize me? How will she recognize me from the different... How can she say that? I know that one. From the other firemen, who are also dressed the same way as I. There's only one way. There's only one way. Yes. Let's say I'm quiet. I don't even talk. So leave the voice out. There's a puzzle now. Come on. Huh? How will she recognize me? You know what will happen? I will use the same route I use when I enter the house. The other firemen don't even know where the door is. So they're just going to put the ladder right across and try to enter the house. I will be the one who say, come this side. I go through the garage, through the kitchen, up the stairs. I said, I know where that room is. I will get there. I will get there. When she sees my actions, she will know it is me. When you see God at work, you will know if it is him, even if you cannot see his face. But you know the character of God, for you have been in a relationship with him. She knows my character. She knows things I like to do. She knows how I put my foot down. She will recognize that that one is familiar. She will not think that that is a ghost. Even though she may not see my face. So, we must have a relationship with God. God's not like your cell phone, just press. God come. No, God go. God watch over. You know there are people who treat God, they even when they say Jesus, they say Jesus. You know, like you say Jesus like you say in Peter. Okay, you don't understand what I'm saying. You know how you relate to God, that he's like just any person, just any person. They say, Jesus, can you watch over my son? He's going to school. Jesus will be here when you come. Jesus, move. That's not the relationship. That's just a servant for you. He must do things for you as you want them, as you wish. And God says, that is why when there are problems, we say, let God be God. Let him do his will. We always ask him, allow God to be God in your life. But in a different setting. I mean, I've seen black people pray, for example. When they talk to God, they come to God with reverence. They come to God with honor. They make God the King of Kings. They elevate God. They take God and put him in a high pedestal. King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Lion of the Lamb of Judah. Consuming fire. We ask all these things in your mighty name. Amen. then you think, what did he ask? He didn't ask nothing. But all he did was to elevate God.
Yes.
And just because God is everything to him, he need not ask anymore. For God is that which he needs. God is everything. Seek him, and all things will be added unto you. You don't need to be a begging church. God, give me this. God, give me that. God, give me this. Begging church. Oh, Lord, please, give me this. No. We can change that prayer.
Yes, Lord.
And say, Lord, make me who you want me to be. We bribe God, we say, if you give me a car, I will preach your word. If you give me a car. So you pray for a car so that you can preach the word. And the Lord says, no. You want to be a preacher? Ask God to make you a preacher. He knows that you need a car. So he will sort it out. It will come. Your focus is not on the car, but on the giver of the car. So that when this car is repossessed, you don't cry. You wait for the next car. You survive repossession. You can face it. Because there is the giver. He's there. He will give you another car. The Bible says these guys were so amazed at this thing that happened because they did not understand the parable of the loaves. That's how Mark closes it. So they were so astonished at this, for they didn't understand the miracle of the loaves. They didn't understand it. Well, what it means by this? That God or Jesus was there with him, provided for them 2 loaves. When they were in their boat, they had 12 baskets that were left from the loaves. This is after Jesus fed 5,000 people with 2 loaves and 5 fish. This event is happening exactly after that. Jesus had fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish. He had performed in their presence. And when he walks on water, they deny his power. They say that's not him. The guy just took 2 loaves, what is this thing? 5 loaves and 2 fish. And he had spread it to a minimum of 5,000 people. They saw it, they witnessed it. The very next hour, the same person walks on water, has power over water, over their own troubles. He has power over their troubles, and they do not recognize him. Why? Because that they did not make personal. That which happened, they did not take to heart. In fact, theologically speaking, they had seen Moses deliver the children of Israel and gave them manna and delivered them from Pharaoh. So when they saw Jesus giving them food, they wanted to make him king. Actually, if you read Mark, he says that Jesus saw that they wanted to make him king. So he went to pray. They made it small. The whole thing was about their own now salvation. Oh, he can provide food. That's fine. He can be our king. Because we want what? Food. Jesus told them at one point, I know you didn't come here for me. You came for food. That's all. Some of us come to church not to have the relationship with the master, but to get. Just to receive. That's all. And I'm saying you will keep asking, and you will keep begging, and you will keep receiving these small crumbs of bread, because that is what you have limited God to. As you have believed, we said last time, so you will receive.
Yes.
As you have believed. Not as God would like to give you. For you are the one holding. You are holding. You are closing. You are not allowing God to manifest himself to you. So Matthew ends it this way. Says, Jesus dismissed the disciples, told them to meet him on the other side, and remained to dismiss dismiss the crowd. Can I talk to leaders of the church? Jesus was the leader, right? Jesus was the pastor. And he remained to dismiss the crowd. He remained to serve. He said the disciples, those who were meant to serve him and do all these minor jobs for him. He said, go rest. I'll meet you on the other side. And he remained to do it himself. A leader leads by serving. And the servant serves by leading. If you have that, you've got it. Please, we have nominating committees and church boards and everything. We ask that the leaders must serve, not lead. Lead by serving. Lead as Jesus led. Jesus did it himself. Himself. He didn't say, I got people who can do this. He did it himself. He led by serving. And if you are down as a servant, serve by leading. Start. That's why we always say, do the best that you can to the best of your ability. How are you going to get this promotion if you are a sweeper and you are behaving like the manager? You ain't going to get no promotion. The only way you can get a promotion is because you sweep so well that they know, they can see you are overqualified for this. Not because you are lazy. No, you know me, this is not my job. I got big things God has in store for me. This ain't mine. I'm going to make it one day. You guys finish off. And you will sit there on that job and you will not know why. Because you don't want to do it to the best of your ability. Sweep that floor. Sweep it and show that you are so overqualified for this that they got to make you a manager. Because you sweep all the corners. Now you can look after other people. How are they going to trust you if you can't even look after yourself? How are they going to trust you with other people? Wherever you are, work, church, home, lead by serving. Don't always want things to come your way. Give, and it will be given unto you. It will return tenfold that which you have thrown in the water. It will come back to you. It will come back to you. Matthew says, even the both guys, they say the same thing. When Jesus entered the boat, the storm ceased. The problems were over. After Jesus did what? Entered the boat. The one guy, John said, when Jesus entered the boat, they reached the shore.
Amen. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Wow.
3 miracles. Jesus saw them in the spirit world. Jesus walked on water towards them, above their problems. The water was their problem. That's your problem. And Jesus walked above it. Above it. If Jesus can walk above it, he has it under control. Yes. Under his feet, so I can survive. That miracle, when he got there, the wind died. They reached the shore. Remember this, it was not Jesus's, this is nice. It was not Jesus' intention to climb on the boat that day. That was not his plan. He said, I'm going to meet you on the other side. So how was he going to get there? Jesus had planned to walk on that water. Whether I was going to fly, whether I was going to walk, but Jesus was not going to take a boat that day. So I'm going to meet you on the other side. When you reach the other side, I'll be there. So now, because of their lack of faith, they bring him down to the extent of climbing onto this old Skorokoro boat. So when he climbs on the boat, I take the boat to the other side. I don't have time to be sitting here in this old thing that I gave you just to transport you to the next level. No, you are not with me. Are you getting where I am? It was not his intention. They slowed him. Yeah, that's what they say. Ushali slowed down. That's what they did to Jesus. That was a slow down. They slowed him down. The miracle was supposed to be go to the other side, hit the storm, meet the problem, have the faith that God is with you. He's got this under control. Just keep on rowing. That's why we say never give up. Keep on rowing because God's got this. So it's fine. It's not my battle. He said we must meet on the other side. How is going to say I must meet on the other side if he's going to bring this to kill me? So you row on until you get to the other side. When they land, Jesus will be standing in front of them. Yes. That was the miracle. Yes. When they reached the destination, that was God's plan that he will be there. Of course, they were going to say, what manner of man is this? But they were going to rejoice that, oh, if you have made it here before us, you were there with us throughout. That was what God's intention on that story. But no, they took him down to another level. And he did that. He obliged. He went down. But the next plan Jesus said was, I am going to walk on water and just show them that I am around. I'm not going to climb on the boat. That's what Mark says. Jesus was about to pass them by. So this is what would have happened. Miracle number 2. Trust me, we are not writing the Bible. That's what I'm trying to do here. Jesus, there's the boat in the middle of the ocean. They are rowing, they are in trouble. Jesus is taking our plan B, putting it into action. So he's walking and he's about to see them. Just needs them to see that he's there, he's present, he is with them, so it's all good, it's fine. And trust me, the next step Jesus would have taken, they would have landed on shore. But no, once again, they did not recognize him. They cried like small babies. Now he had to come to the boat. And they do what? And he climbs the boat. When he gets onto the boat, what happens? They land on shore. This is the same thing Israelites went through. How long was that journey meant to be? A few days. A few days became 40 years because of your unbelief. That's all. God's plan was to cross the desert with them a few days. But they dragged him, and God will not summarize your life. He won't. As long as you haven't learned, he will wait until you learn. Then we will move on to lesson number 2. After 5 years, because you are battling with lesson number 1, he will make sure that you have got it before he moves to the next level. If you can learn quick, you will make it quick. You will get to your destination in a few days. Brethren, that which you want is on your hands. It's depending on you. This thing you want depends on you. How quickly do you learn as God brings his lessons? Trust me, problems do not come to teach you something. Problems don't come to teach you something. Problems come because you have been taught something. Amen. Amen. I give you time to digest. Yes. Problems come because you have already been in school. God has taught you. That is why he says you will not be tempted more than you can bear. So you have it. It's already there. I've given it to you. You can face that problem. And when that problem arrives, it is coming because you have the answer to it. God has already given it to you. You can cross that river. Yes. It is practicals. This is now practicals. That's where you are. That's where you are failing. You are failing on practicals. You have done 3 years of this degree, and now they put you on the field to perform, and you fail on the practicals. Now what happens when you fail on the practicals? Back to school. Back to school. And you have now taken, you know how the brides and the bridesmaids come in when there's a wedding? 1 step forward, 5 steps backward. And then 1 step forward, 5 steps backward. I mean, we've been sitting here waiting for this marriage to start. We are hungry. As people take 1, 5 steps backward. That's how we live our lives. That's how we live our lives. We don't take God at His word. When He says, take the step, you take it. And He says, take the next step, I will be with you. You take it. Yes. And when He says, take the next step, I am there with you. You take it. How did those Hebrew boys know that they would not burn? How did they know it? They didn't care about burning. They didn't care, for that would have been God's will anyway. They did not burn because they gave it all to God. Their lives to God. Their plans to God. Their will, God's will. That is my submission to us today. Amen. Let us give God His time. Let us take Him at His word. Yes. When He says, I'll meet you there, He means just that. Nothing else. I will meet you there. Storms will come, whether you're a Christian or not, whether your faith is high or low, storms will come. But God is on your side. He has already provided. How will you say God is good if problems don't come? Because they come so that you can see the power of God in your life. All we dealt with today was the presence of God. Yes. Even though they could not see Him. That's all I need you to take home with you. He lets you go, but He's there with you throughout the journey, whether you can see Him or not. Last illustration, the stars are there. We can see them on a clear night. But on a cloudy night, we cannot see them. But we know that they are there. For we saw them yesterday. Yes. Yes. And we don't need proof that they are there. Yes. We know they are there. You have come this far by faith. Amen. You will move forward with the same faith. What God showed you last year is still the same God today. That is why He says, look, search for that first love. That's why you missed it. Go, you have lost that first love. That relationship you had with God. After the Sermon on the Mount, after the feeding of the 5,000, after that miracle that happened in your life, with time, you have lost that sight. With time, it has become a blur. You need to find it. For God is still the same. So how long do we have? We have our lifetimes to learn. But trust me, you can shorten it. You can make it quick. You can summarize it by depending totally on God. You will overcome quicker. The journey you are having now and you are battling with will be shortened because you have passed that which you were given. God doesn't want nothing that He hasn't given you. He just wants that which He gave to you. He wants you to see it, you exercise it. That which He instilled in your heart. So how do we close? We ask God to be everything to us. But we all know already that he is everything to us. So we need now to respond to the love freely given. And that is my call to you.